I know the team is not set. Your chances of making it are pretty good. What would it mean to you to represent the country in Paris this summer?
Yeah, I think it would mean everything. That's like one of my dreams as a kid growing up. You always want to be an Olympic gold medalist. So I know how special it is to represent USA across your chest. So being able to do that on the highest level would certainly be a dream come true.
This is the story of how Caitlin Clark went from being left off the 2024 Olympic roster to becoming one of the most anticipated players at the December 2025 Team USA training camp, and the injury nightmare she survived to get there. 28 of 41 games is what Clark missed during her second WNBA season, sidelined by a series of soft tissue injuries that nearly derailed everything. This week she returns to competitive basketball at Duke University alongside Indiana Fever teammate Aliyah Boston. And what makes this moment matter is that both players were excluded from the Paris Olympics in 2024. USA Basketball told them they weren't ready for the senior national team. 18 months later, that decision looks different. June 11, 2024 brought the announcement everyone had been waiting for. USA Basketball revealed its 12-player roster for the Paris Olympics, and two names stood out for their absence: Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston. Selection Committee Chair Jen Rosati pointed to basketball criteria when explaining the decisions, noting that Clark lacked senior national team experience.
She turned that down. We know Project B came with a eye-dropping, crazy number. We know they came with a crazy bag, and she has turned it down left and right. And we can't even forget that Ice Cube came with a bag. So she's been turning down leagues left and right since before she even played a game in her rookie season. Here it says, Caitlin doesn't have the financial need to play in any other league. She's making so much money off the court and endorsements. Robin Lundberg summed it up. Salute to Robin Lundberg.
Every single player who earned a roster spot carried prior Olympic or World Cup medals on their resume, and Clark hadn't attended the March 2024 training camp because Iowa was competing in the Final Four. The backlash came fast and loud. Christine Brennan of USA Today, who has covered the Olympics for 4 decades, called it the worst selection decision she had ever witnessed. Over at ESPN, Stephen A. Smith put it bluntly, "How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. It compromises what your ultimate goal is, which is to elevate the WNBA brand." Casey Wasserman, president of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, described it as a missed opportunity because she's clearly a generational talent at a time when the world was ready for it. And here's something that emerged later. Christine Brennan's 2025 book, On Her Game, revealed that USA Basketball had actually offered Clark a spot on the 3x3 team before the 5-on-5 selection process even began. Clark and her team turned it down because she reportedly did not want to play 3x3 basketball at the Olympics.
Here it says her WNBA salary at $119,000 barely registers in comparison to the endorsement revenue powering her rise. With that level of financial comfort, Clark finds herself in a position few young athletes ever reach. She does not need additional leagues money, additional seasons, or additional mileage on her body to secure her future. It has become the clearest explanation for why she continues to pass on eye-catching offers from leagues.
Team USA captured the gold medal in Paris anyway, edging France 67-66 in a tight final, which validated the selection in some people's eyes. But the opener against Japan drew just 13,040 fans, reportedly the lowest attendance of any women's basketball game at the entire tournament. Dawn Staley, who served on the selection committee, offered a candid admission in July 2024. If we had to do it all over again, the way that she's playing, she would be in really high consideration of making the team because she is playing head and shoulders above a lot of people. Clark addressed the situation in Time magazine with words that cut through the noise. "I don't want to be there because I'm somebody that can bring attention. I want to be there because they think I'm good enough. I don't want to be some little person that is kind of dragged around for people to cheer about and only watch because I'm sitting on the bench." Clark entered 2025 determined to prove herself, and what she got instead was the most brutal stretch of her basketball career. Here's what made this so shocking. Caitlin Clark had been injury-free throughout her entire 4 years at Iowa and her rookie season with the Fever.
$20 million. Let's get into the article. The nearly $20 million rejection by Caitlin Clark has the WNBA buzzing. Here it says, Caitlin Clark is the lone basketball player on Sportico's latest ranking of the highest paid female athlete. She has climbed into the number 6 spot, with an estimated $16.1 million in total earnings, a number that came despite an injury-shortened campaign that only lasted 13 games. Now, y'all know how all of us Caitlin Clark fans was disappointed that we barely even got to see the woman play.
Dealing with anything significant simply hadn't happened to her. That changed fast in her second professional year. Left quad tightness showed up in the preseason, and then May 26th brought a left quad strain announcement that would keep her out at least 2 weeks. She fought her way back on June 14th, dropping 32 points against the New York Liberty in a statement game. Just 12 days later, on June 26th, doctors discovered a left groin sprain. Another return came on July 9th, and that's when things fell apart for good. 6 days later, in the final minute of a win over the Connecticut Sun, Clark executed a bounce pass assist to Kelsey Mitchell and felt something give way. A right groin sprain ended her season right there, and she left the court fighting back tears in what would be her last game of 2025. The injuries weren't finished with her. August 7th brought a bone bruise on her left ankle while she was still rehabilitating. 13 games out of 41 is all she managed to play. The WNBA All-Star Game was hosted in her home arena of Indianapolis, and she couldn't participate.
Oh my God, we gotta get into this article, man. It seems as if Caitlin Clark has turned down $20 million. $20 million. And the WNBA, y'all acting like y'all can't get a CBA done, turning down all this bread for y'all. Listen, Caitlin, you might need to start accepting some of these bags. You might need to start accepting some of these payments and bring your boy KTV on along for the ride. At this point, I don't think we should be turning down any more offers, CC. These people can't get themselves together around here.
The Commissioner's Cup championship happened without her. The entire playoffs came and went while she watched from the sideline. September 4th, 2025 brought the official announcement from the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark was done for the season. She opened up about the mental toll on the Bird's Eye View podcast in August. "I've never been through anything like this. I think that's probably why it's been so hard, because I've never really dealt with injury. Whether it's this year or whether it's next year, and even throughout my career, I'm going to be very thankful for this moment." November 12, 2025 delivered the news Fever fans had been desperate to hear. Clark reported she was back to 100% and had been taking advantage of the fall weather in Indianapolis before it got too cold. While Clark spent months recovering, her teammate Aliyah Boston carried Indiana on her shoulders, and their partnership represents one of the most compelling storylines in women's basketball right now.
How all of us Caitlin Clark fans was disappointed that we barely even got to see the woman play last season. We waited all off season, had to get through the 3-on-3 unrivaled whatever just to get to the season, and she only plays 13 games. We're being told every day that she's day-to-day for months and months on end, all the way until there's only the last week of the season. It's 2 games left, and they say she's done for the year. Dragged us along all season. So here it says her WNBA salary at $119,000 barely registers.
These two share history that stretches back further than most fans realize. Bangkok, Thailand in 2019 is where they first played together, winning gold at the FIBA U19 World Cup when both were still teenagers, years before either would become a #1 overall pick. April 2023 brought Boston to Indiana as the first overall selection in the draft, and that October she won unanimous Rookie of the Year honors with averages of 14.5 points and 8.4 rebounds, which was the second highest rebounding mark in WNBA rookie history. Her 57.8% shooting from the field made her the first rookie ever to lead the WNBA in field goal percentage. Clark arrived 1 year later as the #1 pick for the same franchise and captured Rookie of the Year with 66 of 67 votes, averaging 19.2 points and 8.4 assists. Those 337 total assists shattered the WNBA single-season record, and she recorded the first rookie triple-double in league history before adding a second one. No teammates in WNBA history had ever won Rookie of the Year in consecutive seasons after going first overall in consecutive drafts. Their pick-and-roll chemistry powered the Fever to their first playoff appearance since 2016 and a franchise-best 2020 record in 2024. The connection shows up in small moments that cameras catch before games. Boston described how it started. "It really just started one game where we gave each other a hug and she was like, 'You're going to be amazing because you are amazing.' I said it back, And we've just done it every game. 19 assists against the Dallas Wings on July 17, 2024 set the WNBA single-game record, and 9 of those dimes went directly to Boston. Nearly half of Clark's record-setting performance flowed through her front-court partner. Clark has spoken about Boston in terms that leave no room for ambiguity. She's the best all-around post player in the league. She passes the ball well, rebounds, shoots the mid-range jumper, and I think she still has so much room to grow. All of that history brings us to this week, December 12th through 14th, 2025, at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina. New leadership runs this training camp from top to bottom. Kara Lawson, Duke's head coach and a 2008 Olympic gold medalist, now holds the reins for the 2025 to 2028 cycle. Sue Bird, owner of 5 Olympic gold medals, has taken over as managing director. Bird offered her assessment of Clark ahead of camp. The first thing that came to mind: I thought what was most impressive was the way she stayed engaged. That speaks to her maturity. 18 players received invitations to Durham, and the roster mixes veterans like Kaylia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, De'Arica Hamby, and Brianna Jones with Boston and a wave of newcomers. 10 of the 18 are making their senior national team debut, including Clark alongside Paige Buakers, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Rickea Jackson, and Lauren Betts. That 2019 U19 team keeps coming back into the story. Buakers, Reese, and Brink all played with Clark and Boston as teenagers in Bangkok, and now they're competing for senior roster spots together. Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Nafisa Collier are all missing from this camp due to other commitments. For Clark, stepping onto the court at Duke represents her first competitive basketball since July 15th, which means nearly 5 months away from the game. Boston has attended senior team camps in 2022 and 2023 without cracking an Olympic roster, so this represents another chance for her as well. Boston shared her excitement on the Post Moves podcast. I think anytime you get a chance to really play with USA, it's just a great opportunity. So, honestly, I'm just excited to hoop. When she learned they'd both be attending, she texted Clark with 3 words. "Hey girl, see you soon." Clark's reply matched the energy. "See you soon." This training camp represents more than a return to the court for Clark and Boston, because what comes next is the real prize. Berlin, Germany will host the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup from September 4th through 13th. And while the United States already clinched automatic qualification by winning the 2025 FIBA Women's AmeriCup, they'll still compete in qualifying tournament games. San Juan, Puerto Rico hosts those matchups from March 11th through 17th, 2026, with New Zealand, Puerto Rico, Senegal, Italy, and Spain all on the schedule. Those March games will likely mark Clark's first time representing the United States at the senior level. Looking further down the road, both Clark and Boston are now positioned as cornerstones for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, where Team USA will chase a record-extending 9th consecutive gold medal. Clark has been clear about what wearing her country's colors means to her. That's what you dream of as a young kid, getting to represent your country. And obviously, me and Boston having the experience of playing for the junior national team, we know how fun that is and how cool that is to wear USA across your chests. 18 months ago, the message to Caitlin Clark was that she lacked the experience for the Olympic team. 5 months ago, she walked off the court in tears after another injury threatened everything she had built. This week at Duke University, she arrives healthy, focused, and finally getting her opportunity at the senior national team level with the teammate she's been winning gold medals alongside since they were teenagers. Nobody has forgotten the 2024 Olympic exclusion controversy, but what happens from here forward is what counts now. Clark has always maintained that she wants to earn her spot because they believe she's good enough, not because of the attention she generates. Starting this week in Durham, she gets the chance to show them exactly that.